Welcome to my office. Thanks for joining me. You might hear Luke yelling through the walls. We can't have video, or we're having video training because it's hard to have a large group training in these days. So I'm sending you this video. Hopefully it answers all of your questions about life groups. Please follow up with me, email, text, phone call, to let me know if you have any more questions. But this is your life group training video. And I want to start right off by saying thank you for leading a life group at Grace. Life groups really are the hub of ministry at Grace. We believe it's a way that we can do life together, that we can disciple, that we can be connected in relationship. Life groups are really the place where transformation happens. We need the large gathering, the corporate worship, the time together as a large group, but really ministry and transformation happens in that small group setting. And so thank you for leading a life group. And whether in this season you're leading a red group, a yellow group, or a green group, we are still seeing relationships happen through life groups, and we're so thankful for you. I know that this is a weird season to lead a life group. It's a weird season all the way around. And so thank you for being flexible with us. Thank you for understanding if we have glitches or change things. This is a season where we don't have a lot of certainty except Jesus, but we can try to have as much clarity as possible. And so for us right now, I'm just going to go through the training that I would do in person with you typically. I'll also send this to you in a digital copy so that you can read it as well. And if you have any questions, just follow up with me. But our theme key verse for life groups is in Acts chapter 5, verse 4. They met day after day in the temple courts and from house to house. And we see the early church modeled this way of doing church. House to house, day after day, they met together in smaller groups. And, we're just coming out of this season where we did have to meet together in smaller groups. And we want to keep flowing in that direction with our life groups. God's really blessed you with a certain set of passions and gifts and personality, and you get to use the things that God has put in you to bear fruit in this season through leading a life group, and we are so thankful. Well, let me just get down to the nitty-gritty, the details. This year, we're doing another life group campaign where we all are running the same direction. We're all doing the same thing. We don't always do that. It's different in lots of seasons, but we found in a time where we've been so spread out that this would be a good time to be together. And so we're studying 1st, 2nd, and 3rd John. We're using Right Now Media. So I'll make sure all of you get access to Right Now Media if you don't already have that. We're watching Little Teachings by Dr. Tony Evans. And every week you'll watch his teaching and then you'll have questions to discuss. And right there in Right Now Media, there's a leader's guide that you can download and use for your discussion. There are also participant guides that you can download and have for your participants, or that they can download on their own. I also can print everything in the office if you want them printed ahead of time. You can let me know and I can make sure to do that. Dr. Evans' teachings on the scriptures in 1st, 2nd, and 3rd John are only around 10 minutes each session. And so generally your life group discussion and video time is probably just an hour, where you have your 10-minute teaching or your little icebreaker questions, then your little 10-minute video from Dr. Evans, then your discussion for about 30 minutes, and then you can break into a time of prayer. And you can pray as a whole group. You can divide guys and girls or couples or however you want to do that, and make sure that you have a time to pray for each other. Bottom line, our heart in life groups is that relationships and connections happen, and that you talk about the Lord in the process, learn about the scripture, and run together in a direction. That's what we love about life groups. And so we're going through 1st, 2nd, and 3rd John. We're using the Right Now Media. We will be teaching on these portions of scripture on our Sunday mornings. And so we do ask that you do your life group for 6 consecutive weeks. I know some groups, it just works better to do every other week, and that's okay if that's what works best for your schedule. You would just want your people to watch the Right Now Media teaching on their own in those off weeks so that they don't get behind, because we will be teaching consecutive 6 weeks in a row. Now, the big question that everybody is having right now is, how are we going to sign up or promote our life groups? The truth is, I'm not 100% sure yet. It's a different season. I'm just trying to bring clarity. The best way to get people in your group is by personal invitation. Invite people that you already have a relationship with, that you have a heart for, that you've met on a Sunday, or that you've talked to online, and just start spreading the word about your life group. You know, those relationships are with those natural relationships that you already have. That's a really natural way to have a life group. But then you also want to have open doors to bring in others. And so start with the people you know, the people that you have a heart for, want to invest in, and then start spreading the word that way. Encourage them if they want to bring a friend, but know the limit to your groups. What we found is the smaller the group, the better the conversation. So we don't want groups to go more than 12 people. After that, people start not coming or feeling unseen, and it's really good to have a deeper relationship when we're right around 12. Now, if your setting is at the church and you have more space for 12 people, then my recommendation would be that you also have an assistant leader, and that you have them, you break into 2 groups for your discussion, or 3 if needed. Then you can have that smaller group discussion, but yet a larger group setting. So invite people that you know and friends or have a heart with. And then I'm going to be collecting the interest level from people by doing a church survey and spreading the word. And then I'll help send people to your groups once I have all of the details of your group. So I know some groups details already. If you haven't sent those to me, like the day and the time that you're meeting, please make sure I get that, because I'll be bringing in the people in the church that I know are interested and ready to join a life group, red, yellow, or green, and then I will send them to you and find them. It's not the ideal way of doing it, but in this season, that's what we have to work with. One thing that we just want to make sure everybody is aware of is that as you're leading a group, you are a representation of the church as a whole. You are a representation of Grace. And at Grace events, we do ask that there not be alcohol. We have lots of people in lots of different areas when it comes to alcohol, and we believe at Grace, official Grace events, we don't want alcohol to be consumed. So if you're leading a life group in your home, please, during the life group time, have no alcohol, and you're welcome to talk to Luke and I about that if you have any more questions on that. Often things get brought up that are personal in life groups, personal struggles, sins, temptations, things that people are dealing with, and we trust you. But if there is ever a time where you feel like, you know what, this might be outside of my league, or something that I don't necessarily have experience in dealing with, please don't hesitate to come to one of the pastors or the leadership team. Come to us and talk to us, ask us for help or guidance, or even have us meet with that person in your life group. We are here to support and to help you. Our job is to equip the saints to do the work of the ministry. And so we want to do everything we can to help you feel ready and equipped. And anytime that you need help, please reach out, and we would love to come in and help with that conversation. And then another thing I just want to remind all of our leaders of is the goal is not for you to do all of the talking in your life group. In fact, the goal is for you to facilitate discussion from others. Really, it's good if you do about 30% of the talking and you let the life group do 70%. So if you find that you are just talking and talking and talking, you're probably talking too much. If you have somebody in your group that's just talking and talking and talking, they're probably talking too much. And so there's a bit of a dance that you have to do to facilitate and ask questions so that you're getting other people to talk. One thing I've found is that it's okay. If you need to interrupt somebody that's just talking and talking and talking, it's okay. Most people that talk all the time know that they talk all the time, and they're not offended when you say, thanks for sharing that. Now let me ask this person a question. Just direct your group by name, ask them direct questions, and don't be afraid to interrupt the big talkers, because we all have them, and it's good for us to learn how to facilitate those discussions so that lots of people can all talk. Well, if you have any other questions, I think that I have very quickly covered most of it. Oh, I know, COVID. We are still in a pandemic. Sometimes it doesn't feel that way, and sometimes it does feel that way. And so let's remember that even if people have joined your green group, your red group, or your yellow group, even if you're all in the same type of group, you still might have a variety of opinions in your group. And just be mindful of that. Don't try to isolate anybody in their opinion. We are in a season where things are so divided politically, racially, and pandemically, if that's a word. So let's not try to isolate anybody or make anybody feel uncomfortable or wrong or right. Let's honor each other and be okay to disagree in some areas if we need to, but let's not make them feel totally isolated. And so this is a season where we want to walk in love and humility and honor. And so if you have people in your groups that are saying, I'm not quite ready to hug, honor that. Be okay with that if you're in a green group, but yet they've still come to that. If you have people that show up with masks, honor that. Celebrate the boundaries that they're setting in place. Don't make somebody feel isolated in this season. We're a big church. We have lots of different opinions and people in lots of different camps on all of these issues. And we want to be focused on the important things, the gospel, Jesus, salvation, what Jesus has done for us, worshiping the Father. That's our focus here. Some of these other things where there's lots of different opinions, let's not make people feel isolated in that. Let's come together in unity on the true reason why we're coming together. We love following Jesus together with you. Thank you again for leading a life group. We're so happy to have you on our team. Reach out to me if you have any questions or have trouble with anything. I'm looking forward to seeing the people that come to your group and the transformation that will happen. Have a great day.